let's get into today's topic. So today's topic, we're going to be talking about a few of my favorite things for fat loss phases. So what I find with myself, every time I go into a fat loss phase, the deeper I get into it, I start having these frequent flyers, or these like toxic ex-girlfriends that I just can't escape from, and I just keep coming back to them. So I want to share those foods with you guys. So what are these kind of frequent foods that I keep returning to? So I'm going to give you guys like my top 10 plus foods for fat loss. In terms of, I find myself when I'm deep into a fat loss phase, when I'm getting those really tough to lose, last couple pounds, what do I actually eat? What are some of those foods I eat, more often? So we're going to start things off. The first one that I'm going to say in this list is going to be my current obsession, probably the obsession of the last year or two. And that's going to be my good old Ninja Creamy. I talk about, the Ninja Creamy so much that, they need to give me a discount code and start, giving me some rebates or something. That would be nice. But as far as what is the Ninja Creamy? So it is an ice cream maker. And ice cream makers, you guys may have been here. Like, I've been alive since 1994. And when I got into fitness, let's say in more of the 2010s and let's say, 2015 or so, I tried making protein ice cream. We had different things. They had those ice cream makers where, like, I think you would freeze the thing and then it would just like kind of scrape it as it goes, and it would make this kind of like half-ass kind of, is it ice cream? Is it not? Is it ice? Like, it's kind of trying to be something, but it's not very tasty. I did like zucchini ice cream. Banana ice cream didn't have the greatest of macros, but we can say it's healthy. But finally, I think it was 2023, maybe 2022, the technology that, ice cream makers in an actual like kind of restaurant setting, that technology of like what they use, I think it's like a $6,000 machine or something. Apparently that was then, allowed to be used by other companies. And I think Ninja was the brand that made like a, was it countertop size one? And I mean, at the end of the day, it just makes really good protein ice cream that's low calorie. And I'm a big fan. I've been a big fan with like, the Enlightened ice creams, the Halo Top ice creams. Still love those brands, but I do have to say it's kind of tough when it's $5 to, $8 per pint of ice cream. And they often are like, let's say 400 calories per pint. When now with the Ninja Creamy, you can make your own concoction for like a plain vanilla, 200 calories and like 26 grams of protein. It's ridiculous. I just ate one right before this. So I love these Ninja Creamies because I'm able to get, I love ice cream, probably like one of my favorite foods. And so I'm able to eat a lot more ice cream for less calories. And also these things, like, it's a pretty big pint. So that is probably my number one thing. So I've been eating a lot of Ninja Creamies. And I notice when I'm in a surplus phase, I eat less of them. When I was in my contest prep, I was having 4 to 8 of these, pints of ice cream on a daily basis. It was something wild. And what's in my actual like recipe for those creamies is a scoop of Peace Science Cake Pop. Has been the best one that I've seen for it. This is it's a whey casein blend. I think we're going to talk about this later, but this is actually sugar-free Jell-O pudding mix. It's kind of like a thickener that also tastes really good. I don't have the rest of the ingredients, but it's pretty much almond milk, unsweetened almond milk, and a pinch of salt, and that's pretty much it, and some sweetener, and that's going to be pretty much what it is, and that's going to be my 200 calorie base. Then if you want to get fancy, you can throw in like more chocolate kind of flavors or something, but that's like the lowest calorie base that I've been able to create and find. So that is like one of my obsessions, and that's kind of been my obsession right now. I kind of around now, I've been having 2 to 4 of those on a daily basis in my 2,500 calories per day while I'm trying to get leaner. So that's one. And the reason why I like it is because I get a lot of ice cream, one of my favorite foods. I get a lot of protein out of it, and I get a lot of volume out of it. So it's something that I always return to when I'm in a fat loss phase. This last contest prep in 2023 when I won my pro card in natural bodybuilding, and also now when I'm doing more of a funsy fun cut for the summer. I'm down from like 230 to 220, and I'm trying to get to around 215, and then I'll kind of figure out if I want to maintain / slowly bulk because I do have a marathon that I do want to compete in towards the end of the year. Number 2, a food that I also tend to gravitate to, or just like one of my favorite foods in cutting in a fat loss phase, was cauliflower rice. So cauliflower rice is another one. And I'm telling you guys some of these foods, telling you guys these foods that I've been, that I've gravitated into at different, times during my career. I've had kind of on different seasons, different years or fat loss phases, there's like usually one food that I gravitate to. So probably this was like 2020. Oh no, this is more like 2018's food. That was cauliflower rice. So cauliflower rice, it looks like rice. It doesn't, I guess rice doesn't taste like much. Cauliflower rice doesn't taste like much. Cauliflower doesn't taste like much. So it's kind of like the same thing. You get a ton more volume for the amount of calories, and you can just throw it in the microwave, and then you're pretty much good. So cauliflower rice was a cheat code to get more volume for less calories, or you can go 50-50 with white rice and cauliflower rice. Really easy way to get more volume in. And so when we're trying to be in a fat loss phase, we want to be in a calorie deficit, and that's kind of the game plan. So cauliflower rice is number 2. Super convenient, easy to make, easy to cook because you just throw it in the microwave. So that's another one that I tend to gravitate to. Although these more recent years just hasn't been something that I've been, so much into. But going into number 3, the third one that that I would say that I'm a big fan of, and this one I do have pretty frequently, Greek yogurt. Plain, fat-free Greek yogurt. So you can get a ton of volume with that. You can throw that in with, this is the cheat code. So plain fat-free Greek yogurt. The reason I don't have it in here as a prop is because it's dairy and I don't want to like sit in here in case it gets warm or something. But you can throw some of this on. So mix in some vanilla pudding mix. It thickens up the Greek yogurt, and then you add some sweetener, and you'll be able to get like, oh man, the macros on fat-free plain Greek yogurt, you'll get like 23 grams of protein for like less than 10 grams of carbs. It's pretty crazy, and you can get a lot of volume out of it as well. So that opens up some cooking opportunities. One tried and true recipe that I like to use is just a little bit. So it's Greek yogurt. It's a little bit of vanilla pudding mix, and then it's PB2. So powdered peanut butter, and then that makes a really good kind of dip. Fat-free Greek yogurt, anywhere you'd want to use sour cream. Yeah, and fat-free sour cream, I've tried it. I actually made Nicole, my wife, I made us taco dip once, and I used fat-free sour cream, and it was a lot of it. And that's where I went wrong. And we were kind of like, are you into this? And she's like, are you into this? And neither of us were into it. So fat-free sour cream, I noticed with a lot of dairy things, I mean, Greek yogurt passes the test. Fat-free cheeses, hit or miss. They're kind of rubbery. Fat-free ricotta cheese, it's also kind of a miss. Fat-free cream cheese, it works for me. So it's kind of like, it's a little hit or miss when you go with fat-free dairy. So be careful out there. Usually low fat is where you're going to be best off, especially when it comes to cheeses. But fat-free, plain Greek yogurt, a little bit of sweetener. That is one of my favorite things when I am in a fat loss phase. Number 4, I don't know. You guys should have heard me talk about this. It's in my captions all the time, but watermelon. Huge fan of watermelon. You can have almost a pound of watermelon for 100 calories. It is a ton. We have a watermelon on the counter right now, and apparently they keep for like 2 weeks if you put it in the fridge. If you find a good one, it's got a really bright yellow spot, you put it in the fridge, it'll keep for like 2 weeks. We just didn't get to it for like 2 weeks. So we gotta toss this watermelon. It's a sad day, but you get a ton of volume for this. Watermelon is probably before the Ninja Creamies came out, and that's been kind of like my love the last 2 years. It was the reign of watermelon. Say that was like 2019, 2022 in those areas. I think that I was having a ton. I was having like a pound of watermelon, not 2 pounds of watermelon. I think that was on a daily basis during my previous contest prep, I think in 2019. So big fan of it. You get a ton of volume, but there's no buts. It's awesome. Like just get some more watermelon, and that's going to be really useful for having in your repertoire, your toolbox for fat loss. All right, and now next one we got on the list. Some of my favorite things for fat loss phases. Number 5 is going to be gum. So gum is one, and this has kind of like a it's a 1-2 punch. So it's a left right. So I actually just got this. This is 180 pieces. So not sponsored by Orbit or Big Wrigley's. I don't know if they're owned by Wrigley's. They are owned by Wrigley's, but I like the bubble mint. I think it's pretty good. So I just get these big packs, but I'll take them down. Like 3 to 5 pieces at a time. But I'll talk about that in a little bit. But so the cool thing about gum is it says it's like 5 calories. It's usually like sugar-free and stuff. It's good for the teeth, saliva, all that stuff. So you want to keep those pearly whites. That being said as well, the thing with gum is I think if it's 1 or 2 calories per piece, I think that, the amount of chewing you do kind of negates it. That's just my kind of guess, but chewing doesn't burn too many calories. But what chewing gum does is one thing is a lot of times we just want to keep our mouths busy. That's the words that came out. And so be that if we're chewing chips, whatever, you typically like to just snack or chew on something. So if it's going to be pretty much, net 0 calories, chew some gum. If you get some mint gum, it kind of ruins whatever you eat or drink after it. Like if you have some minty gum, like the food, you don't want to like take it out and then like whatever you eat next is going to taste kind of weird or it doesn't taste good. So with that being said, gum is kind of impactful in the way that it keeps your mouth busy. It's pretty much like 0 calories. And I think thirdly is it'll make anything that you may like the sweet stuff, it may make it just not taste as good. So for me, I like using gum because it's going to be something that does keeps my mouth busy, especially if I'm going to be watching something like late at night and I'm like, all right, I want to snack a little bit, but when I put in some gum, I'm like, okay, well, like I'm busy. So it kind of like it decreases that impetus for me to snack and consume calories. So gum, I think, could be really useful. And that's something that I'd say in these last 2 fat loss phases for myself, had these kind of in the mix more. Back in the day, I used to do those extra dessert delights. They had like a chocolate chip mint one, and I would just go to town on that. And I picked up, I'll tell you guys, I picked up a terrible habit. And if anyone resonates with this, let me know because it's a weird thing. But you know how Extra has like they'll do 5 columns of pieces of gum. All right, and so when I was younger, when I was like 10 years old, my sister was chewing a pack of gum. And by chewing a pack of gum, what I mean is she would put in like 3 sticks of gum at once. She'd chew it for about like 2-3 minutes. Then she would like crumple it up and go to the next piece. So it would just be like the fresh flavor every time. And then she'd be done the pack in like an hour or something. I was like, that's weird. And she's like, yeah, that's just how I like to have my gum. And then I kind of picked up that same habit. So now if I have like a 15 stick of gum, usually it's kind of like chapstick. Like this will last you. Chapstick is like, oh, I get one of these. As long as I don't lose it, I'm going to be able to have chapstick for like a month or or two. But more than that. But like with the and the gum, usually you get a pack of gum. It's like, okay, I'm good for like a week or something. But yeah, the way that I've come up with gum is like that thing's getting raw. So that's why I have the 180 piece. And so I'll pop like 3 to 5 pieces in, chew it for like 5-10 minutes, and then I'll like probably just put another 3 to 5 fresh pieces. I wonder if anybody's like me and just like rips through gum. And when we say that they're like, we assume they're like net neutral in terms of calories. When you're ripping through that much gum, I could be wrong. Maybe there's probably some calories in there. Number 6 is going to be rice cakes. Something that I've actually started to like a little bit more recently. And that, I don't know, since my last contest prep, I had to have a lot of rice cakes towards the end because we just kind of get like meal plan towards the end of it. I've actually really started to like rice cakes as a snack. So I actually use these white cheddar ones. The reason why is because chocolate rice cakes are definitely the best. And let's be honest, rice cakes aren't going to blow you away with flavor. But it's more so the volume, and they're fun to eat, in my opinion. So I really like them. Chocolate rice cakes are 60 calories per. So if you have a whole sleeve, it's 7 of them. So it's 420 calories. This one, if you have a whole sleeve, they're 45 calories. So you can have a whole sleeve, which is going to be 7 of them. And that's going to be 315 calories. So for me, when I'm thinking of like a snack, 300 calories, I can allocate as a snack. 7 of these will keep me more busy. So I've actually really liked that. And since it's more of like, I guess you could call that cheesy is savory. So I kind of like snacking on these. If I'm just like passively going to snack, or in the case of running, if I'm going to have like, 2-3 rice cakes before I go for a run, it sits easy in the stomach. And I feel that that's been really useful for me. So I've enjoyed those because it's kind of, again, it'll keep me busy. Now, next up, the next one I want to go over is one of my favorite things. These are, I just love these anytime, but flavor packets. So flavor packets for water. If you're somebody who struggles getting in water, it's 2024. Like, get with the times. Get with the times. Because we got so many great things in the world in 2024 to get more water, get more fluid in. So if you're peeing out, if your pee looks orange and kind of like, or, yeah, I got no metaphors, but like if it's orange or like if your pee is like super yellow, like you got to give them some more water. I'm not someone who's going to say you have to like force down like 2 gallons a day of water, but like if it burns when you pee, you probably want to get more water in, or you may want to go to a doctor. But this is going to be what I like now. These have gotten kind of expensive over time, flavor packets, but here are ones that I found on Amazon. These are tropical flavors for Skittles. So you got 30 packs. I think it's like $4.50, so maybe $5. And you get a ton, but they are 5 to 10 calories per stick. But it'll help you get more water down. And these flavors are actually like really fun. Strawberry starfruit, really good. Mango Tangelo. I'm mixed on mango flavors. I'm usually not the biggest mango guy. Kiwi lime, banger. Pineapple passion fruit, pretty good too. But kiwi lime and strawberry starfruit, I love looking forward to drinking those, especially after a run. And then I have this half-gallon jug, so I'll put like 2 of these in with Element, which is like an electrolyte powder. I'll put that in too. And if you're also still struggling, I got a Soda Stream. And then you can just have a bunch of diet sparkling beverages. So there should be no reason to not hit your hydration targets and to be, taking a leak and being like, wow, that's really yellow. Number 8. Yeah, number 8. So the next one we're going to go into, it's not really controversial. It's just facts, but I really like energy drinks. I personally like them. Energy drinks are just carbonated beverages that have caffeine in them. And I really like, Monsters, 3D's good, Versa, which P Science just came out with, Alani New. I love energy drinks. I think that they taste really good and they get really fun flavors. You don't really find too many caffeine-free, unflavored energy drinks. And I think a lot of people get placeboed into like, this is doing a lot. But also caffeine is actually very impactful for strength training and those kinds of things. But also what energy drinks do, and I think I noticed that, be it strategically or be it behind the scenes, caffeine is an appetite suppressant. It's a stimulant. So it tends to suppress your appetite a little bit. So if you're having more caffeine or, your teas, your coffees, if you're having that in the mix, that is going to help suppress your appetite a little bit. So I know for me, when I'm like in this office, I like to sip down, a Monster. One of my favorite flavor energy drinks is actually just the good old tried and true, the original Monster flavor. When it had the blue, fangs or claw mark on it. It's like 10 calories or 25 calories. Now they came out with like the 0. I actually really, really like that plain Jane flavor. And I actually, out of all the Monsters, I think that's my number one for that one, just like the OG. The watermelon's pretty good. The grape is decent. But yeah, I'm not one of the guys who goes for like the white Monster over anything else. Also, shout out to you, Greg. Thank you for the super like or I don't know what these are called, but the donation to make sure Elon and Yumi get their treats. So appreciate you. Purple Monster Ultraviolet is the best. Yes, it's definitely up there. I like grape for sure. Actually, I was just thinking the other day, there's not too many diet grape sodas out here. And then I was at one of those restaurants that has like a soda stream, and they actually had diet Fanta grape. Fanta. It was pretty good. It was also 0 caffeine, so I was pretty happy. Now moving on to number 9. Some of my favorite things. I'm just going to put these all together. So actually I had 9, 10, and 11. So I'm going to put them all together. And this is just going to be a ton of veggies. And here are some of my favorite ones. So number 9 is going to be celery because it's pretty much 0 calories. Like I think a pound of celery is something like 40 calories or something, or 20 calories. I got to triple check that, but it's very low. Carrots, super crunchy. I actually really like the taste of carrots, so I snack on those. 9 ounces of carrots, so put that into, that's 3/4 of a pound. So a pound of, dang, yeah. So a pound of carrots is something like it's like 150 calories, 160 calories, I think. But I love carrots. I mean, I think that, and I think crunchiness is a satiety signaler. So carrots being so crunchy that I think that they do have pretty good impact there. I just also think they're delicious. And then BAS, B-A-S, which stands for Big Ass Salads. That's something I got from Matt Ogus back in the day. I think he would always like prepare some giant salads, and you get some low calorie dressing, and lettuce at the end of the day is crunchy water. Celery is pretty much crunchy water. A lot of the vegetables out here are crunchy water. Watermelon, cantaloupe, strawberries, honeydew, a lot of those are pretty much crunchy water. You can find a lot of foods for like a pound of it. You can get for like less than 150 calories. And if you're filling up on a lot of those foods, it's going to make your diet a lot easier to stick with. So what I want to do today, and now we got some good questions that I want to hop into. But I want to share with you guys first some of my favorite things when it comes to foods when I'm in a fat loss phase. These are foods that for some reason or another, I gravitate to more and more to help keep me full and keep me happy. Because Ninja Creamy is number one. They're good for the body, but more importantly, good for the soul. So if you don't have one, I'd recommend getting one. I don't have a discount code. I just think technology in 2024 is pretty sweet. So some of my favorite things for fat loss phases: Ninja Creamy for some high protein, low calorie ice cream, cauliflower rice, Greek yogurt, watermelon, chewing on gum, rice cakes, flavor packets for water, energy drinks. But don't overdo it. Don't have like 10 energy drinks and be saying like, oh, Kevin said so, because you're going to have a bad time if you have like 10 energy drinks. And then also a ton of vegetables, celery, carrots, and big ass salads. So I hope this was helpful for you guys.